Okay. Let's go on to food prep essentials, I guess. I feel like this should be a separate, nope. I'm not editing this. This is just gonna be me. So let's go through food prep essentials. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so let's talk Tupperware. Okay. So when you see these Instagram or TikTok, like reels and whatnot, you see everybody using like these black food prep things, and that's great. That's great. I'm gonna tell you though that these are, I think for like 20 of them, or no, for 10 of them or 20 of them, it's like 25, 30 bucks. So like, while they look cheap and there's a lot of them, if you don't have that like right off the bat to spend on fucking Tupperware, you can just, this is what I did for years, even when I started at Drake University. I would just have a couple big containers, like a couple of these, or like if you have, let's see, once again, I can't find the lid, but like one of these with a lid, you know what I mean? Like anything that's big. So I would go with this option if you already have it. If you don't have these options, I would still prefer to invest money into I would buy right off the bat probably 3 or 4 of the big ones, because you're gonna food prep and you're gonna put everything in there. So you're not gonna divvy it up by day. You're not gonna divvy it by day. Because guess what that does? It takes up way more fridge room, takes up way more Tupperware, more dishes. So, and then you have to have storage for this. So especially if you have like a roommate or whatnot, it's like, they don't want to open the fridge and just see like all your Tupperware taking up the whole thing. So I like just like, if you're gonna make, hypothetically, like, let's just say pasta with meat sauce or something, put it all in here, and then every day divvy out what you want. So I really like this particularly for dinners, but I'm weird about dinners, so we'll also get to that. My dinners, okay, caveat, my dinners have to be fresh. I feel like with food prep in general, I always prep my breakfast and my lunch, and I feel like when I get out of a hard day, like a long day at work and whatever, like I want it to be like a fresh meal and not reheated. And if it's not, then I'll probably just go get something. So for me, and I'll go through this with meal prep on how to do it cheap for one person. I like my dinners to be fresh, but fast and cheap. So we'll go over that. But yeah, so just grab a couple of these, food prep into these. So if you're making like prepared oatmeal, which one of my recipes is for a very particular oatmeal that my family likes, put the whole thing in here, and then every day just scoop into a bowl and heat up. Or if you want it to go, I do one of these. Okay, these, I know they're glass, so glass is like super fancy. Like if all of my Tupperware were glass, I know I've made it, but that's not the case. So I got all 3 of these from Target in one of those like bins when you first walk in. It's like the $1, $3, $5 bins. I got all of these for, I think this was $1 or $2, and this was $3. And this is from like, this is from 4 years ago at Target for probably $3. So if I were to start out with Tupperware, I'd grab probably 3 or 4 of these and just this right there. One thing you need to know though is that when you're on a budget and you're tight, there's a lot more kind of a pain in the ass thing. So like at the end of the day, when you take this out of your lunch box or your lunch bag, you rinse them out and you wash them for the next day. So I'm really just going down like Hackland here. So I don't have this out. I hope you guys can see it. Do I need to scoot this up? I'll scoot it up. That stand is currently my walking treadmill desk stand. Okay, so because I was making this video and I wanted this to be not look like I have a crazy kitchen, I always have a towel there. And so when I come home, with all my shit and I unload the car, immediately when I get home, I rinse these out and then I dry them. So every day, everything's ready for me just to scoop back, and it's just like this repeat cycle. So in order to save money, I would get something like this. You are going to need probably 2 of these, what size are these? I bet these are 2 cups. This is a 2 cup. It feels like a 2 cup. Should we test it? Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm right. Why doesn't it say it? Oh yeah. Yeah, 2 cups. Okay. If I had a skill, it would be estimating cooking measurements. I think I had a friend once ask me what one of my secret talents is, and it's really like that. So I would take, I would get 2 cups, get cheap, even if it's plastic, that's fine too. I prefer glass though, because it doesn't stain, but when you're on a budget, and then this is a 1 cup. Feels like it, 1 cup. So that's what I would do. But then again, you kind of have to be on top of it when you come home. You know, gotta be a cheap ass grown up. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, God, I don't have any money. I guess I have to rinse these out. It takes 2 seconds. Another thing, another cheat I have. I wonder if I can bring this over. Come with me. Here is my sink. Do you see that? So I have this bin inside the sink with dish soap in it to let things soak and everything, because let's be honest, I don't need a full sink of water all the time. That's a waste of water and energy and whatnot. So that's actually like a poverty hint. It's just like, I was raised with something just ready to be washed because we didn't have a dishwasher. Right? So my mom would have that bin. Oh my goodness gracious. My mom would have that bin, and we were expected to wash when we got done and then put it next to the sink. So that is definitely imprinted from my childhood without a dishwasher. Oh, guys, there's cords involved. So you know Aaron's at a... There you go. Okay, so let's talk. So Tupperware is done. I wouldn't, if you have the money to go with all, if you have the money and space in your fridge to dish out daily, so you're gonna have a breakfast and a lunch, maybe a dinner. So if you have room for 21 of these in your fridge, or let's just even say for 5 days, I would go with this. If you don't, or you don't have the money, go with these options, but then you have to be a grown-up and wash things every day when you get home, which is boring. But remember, positive energy. Whenever I'm angry, I have to do something, I change it to I get to. So, like, I remember when I was frustrated and just so sleep deprived postpartum, and I'd be rocking with Nora in the middle of the night and she would not be falling asleep. I'd be like, oh, I have to do this. And it's like, no, I get to, right? So that really changes things. So while you're scrubbing out that Tupperware, every night after work, as you can tell, that's not very organized down there, but you get to tell yourself, I get to do this. So, okay. Another essential, another staple for meal prep, especially on a budget and especially if you're cooking for just yourself, is a small baking sheet. I got this from IKEA for $2 like 5 years ago. Look how sad it looks. So when I was at grocery shopping, I got this one from Walmart. It was fucking $10. And so I found one on Amazon for $5. So I would get like 2 of these. You should always have this. So these are for my fresh dinners. So I'm a huge fan of one sheet dinners. But yeah, this is an essential part for cooking for beginners. Easy peasy. This is like the easiest dinner. You literally do nothing and you throw it all in a pan and you put it in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes while you're doing other shit. So these are essential. You know, cooking is just like construction. Like, you know, it's like you have to have the right tool, or like the better quality of the tool, the easier the job, right? So just start out with some cheap shit and ask your friends and families for members, like for Amazon gift cards for Christmas or something, so you can like re-up your good cookware. Okay, so this is an essential. Another essential, believe it or not, I use it maybe 3 times a week. One of these babies. Okay, if you want to save money, I saw one at Walmart for like $4. If you're close to an IKEA, do all of your supply and shopping there at IKEA. I did that. I was in Minneapolis and there was an IKEA, and that's where I got all the cookware for the lake house. And it was like so fucking cheap. Like this baking sheet was, I don't know, $2 compared to $10. So if you're close to an IKEA, and the cheese grater at IKEA was $1.50. So in order of shopping to get cheapest is IKEA, Amazon, and the store. But back to this. If you want to save money while being healthy, this is your baby right here. This is it. So I refuse to eat, okay, this is a little, but I refuse to eat pre-grated cheese for a couple of reasons. First of all, have you seen what they put on the cheese after it's done shredded so it doesn't stick together? Not going in my body. Not doing that. Second, it is so much cheaper to buy a block of cheese and shred it yourself. Yes, you heard me, shred your own cheese. Third, it tastes 10 times better. And this comes back to my philosophy. You eat with your eyes. If you know it's gonna be good, you're more likely to eat it, you're more likely to save money, and you're gonna be healthier. Like, freshly grated cheese quesadilla, 10,000 times better. It's just a quesadilla in the microwave. It still tastes better than the pre-shredded shit. So that is a necessity. Cooking, if you're not used to cooking, obviously a cutting board, it doesn't have to be fancy. It can be one of those plastic flimsy ones that are $1. Yeah, so cooking board. And honestly, I only cook with one knife. So this is an expensive knife. I mean, I've had it for 5 years. I think it was like $80. But I found one on Amazon. If you just type in culinary knife, there's one for $15. It is so much easier to prep your veg with that than a dinky Perry knife. Like, don't tell me I'm gonna prep for 5 days a meal with this dinky little thing, okay? I never use this. I don't know who uses this. I don't know. And then obviously like a steak serrated knife, like when I was like in college, in grad school, and I was super poor, again, for the second time in my life. I prepped with this, and you make do what you make do, right? You can cut a potato with this. It works just as fine. But I will tell you, when it gets to certain vegetables, the serration makes like the edges soggier. It makes the veg cook faster, and it makes it soggier. So start out with whatever the fuck you have. Whatever you have, start out with. Ultimately though, if you can get an Amazon gift card from a family member from Santa Claus, or family member for Christmas, I would buy one of these, and literally it's like $15. I found one. Okay. What are the other tools? Okay, let's talk to save money, Ziploc bags. I will never prep food without a Ziploc bag. I rarely use a gallon Ziploc bag. Sandwich size, I use quite a bit. So this is like, especially if you're cooking for one, if you only need half an onion, throw the other half in here. Like don't use Tupperware. Don't do, just make your life easier, and put it in a sandwich bag. So you're probably gonna see that. I bet I have some from last week. So a lot of recipes only call for like half of a pepper or half of an onion. The majority of recipes rarely use a whole one, unless you're food prepping for the week, aka cooking for 4 or 5. So yeah, those are from last week. Okay, so Ziplocs, sandwich Ziplocs. And 2 more aluminum foil. I take my aluminum foil out of that weird fucking box where the rippy thing never works. Screw that shit. You can easily just rip it on your own. I don't understand why people have that serrated thing. It's so easy. Anyway, so aluminum foil, don't judge, no box. And then for this, well, for a lot of food prep that goes in the freezer, wax paper. So I will be doing frozen breakfast burritos as one of my recipes this week. And when you freeze things, it's best to wrap them in wax paper first and then wrap them in aluminum foil, and then you can put them in, a gallon Ziploc bag and put it into the freezer. So when it comes to staples, that's it. What else? Okay. Give me a sec. A medium saucepan with a lid. This is what we're gonna be making rice out of, pasta, whatever. Like, this is essential lid, essential-ish. My mom, when I was little, we didn't have a lid for ours, so she always just put like a Corelle dish right on top instead of the lid. So I don't have the big one. Oh. My mommy's solution. So, do a medium saucepan. To be honest, I would never go over 2 quart. This is a 2 quart. I still think it's a little big since I mean, it's not just because I'm cooking for just me and Nora, but like, I found a 1.5 quart on Amazon for only like $18 or $19. And I love that. So a little bit smaller with a lid. This at the store is like fucking like $25. So like I said, go Amazon, go IKEA. IKEA is even cheaper. That's another essential. And then okay, this is the last main essential. I actually don't have a lot of cooking wear, y'all. Like, I go to some other people's houses and they have all these trinkets, and I'm like, I don't have that. But okay, a good fry pan. And by good, I mean whatever the fuck you have. Because listen, the worse the pan quality is, just means that you have to add more fat so it doesn't burn. So if you don't have like Teflon, so like if you have this, which is controversy over the health of this or whatever, I can use less fat, which means less oil or butter, which means saving money. Fats are the most expensive things in your grocery cart. Olive oil, fucking expensive. And for my sake, please do not cook with vegetable or canola oil. Just don't do it. Use butter instead. So we'll be going over fats, but I rarely use the small one. I do this if I'm just sauteing up some like boneless, skinless chicken thighs for Nora and I for dinner. I rarely use a small one because I'm usually cooking on this for dinner. I'm not joking. I'm usually cooking this for dinner. And if not this, I rarely use this. Don't waste your time on this small guy. Okay. Medium is nice. So if this is what you're working with, that's awesome. When it comes to food prep, it's still maybe not big enough. Like you're gonna, you use what you need to use, but like it might be like almost overfilling. Like it might just like overflowing. When I'm food prepping, I go for the biggest one, or my cast iron, but I won't be using cast iron today. I use cast iron, so I use these for food prep and throughout the week, but I use my cast iron. I love my cast iron, but I use it when I'm cooking for guests primarily, with a very particular, like an Americana meal. So if I'm making homemade cornbread, that shit's going in the cast iron. I made it. It's going in the cast iron. Or if I'm frying up chicken, cast iron. Fried chicken, fried fish, cast iron. Like there are certain dishes that I will cook for guests or that need to be served fresh in the cast iron. But for food prep, just this guy. Okay. Okay, I think that's it on essentials. Like not a lot. Let me bring these back in. Okay, I'm trying to put it all here. What else? Okay, so you got your Tupperware, your daily Tupperware, storage Tupperware, daily Tupperware. Now and again, you are going to need a big bowl. To stir in. I got this at a kitchen supply. Oh, if there's a kitchen, like a commercial kitchen supply store, things are cheap there too. And everything's stainless steel so it doesn't stain. I got this from a kitchen supply, a restaurant supply store here in Des Moines off of Merle Hay for $1. So we won't need it for this week though. So that's the essential tools that we're gonna use to food prep to keep things cheap. Bare minimum. If you don't have this, make do. Nobody will know. Nobody will know. Okay.